to do this taping, you're going to have your patient with their foot slightly off the edge of the table and in a dorsiflex position. You'll spray them with tough skin to make sure that the tape sticks down to them. You're going to start it with a anchor strip just so that all of your arch taping sticks to the person and doesn't slide around. And put the anchor strip right below the toes. Then you'll take your 1-inch tape, and in order to build your arch, you're going to start by going from the start of the anchor at the 5th toe, around behind the heel, up to the base of the 1st toe at the top of that anchor strip. Then each strip you do, you're going to do in the same toes but opposite direction. So the first one was 5 to 1, so now we're going to go backwards 1 to 5 and just again back around that heel. Then in order to keep building the arch, now we're just going to come inwards, which is how you get that X shape. So this next strip is going to go 4 to 2, back behind the arch, up around to the 2nd toe. Then 2nd toe to 4, and make sure your tapes slightly overlap but not directly on top of each other. And then the last one you're going to do is 3 to 3, back behind the arch, and it'll go right up to the 3rd toe again, and then back around 3 to 3. So now you should see a nice X coming into the foot. Then just to make sure all of these strips up top don't come off, you're going to make another anchor strip to close it off. And then you're going to keep putting strips down the bottom of the foot with them overlapping by about half, just to make sure that their arch is nice and in place and the tape doesn't come off. And you want to get the tape as flat as possible with as few wrinkles as you can so that it doesn't pinch and that it's comfortable for the patient. So our patient has a blister on the back of their heel. So we're gonna have a nice pre-cut donut pad and we're gonna put it here. But first you want to fold it over and kind of make a little cut in the middle of it. And use that. And you want to cut a hole around the area that you're going to be putting it on. Okay, so now that we have a nice hole in the center of our donut pad, we're going to place it right around her blister. It's a nice size. And then you're going to get your cover strip ready so that you can cover it up and just keep it nice and secure in place. So just cut a strip of that, just enough to cover up your donut hole and still have some on the side so that it doesn't come off. Okay, so now we're going to place our donut hole over the blister with the hole covering the blister. And then place our tape here on the side. And then just wrap it around like this. And now you have a securely covered blister. Okay, so the patient has an ankle sprain and a lot of swelling on their medial malleolus. So we're going to cut a horseshoe from this foam and try to use it to help push the swelling out. So first you want to get it over the malleolus so you can figure out what size to do. And then kind of just try to trace out your little horseshoe here. and then cut that out. Once you have it in the size you want it, just kind of try to keep adjusting it to make sure that it's going to fit around their foot. Okay, so now you see the center, it's around the malleolus, and this will help push the swelling up. So now that you have your horseshoe, you're gonna take an ace bandage and just wrap their foot, and this compression will also help get the swelling. So you wanna start it pointing downwards, starting at the great toe, and then wrapping around the bottom of the foot, and then kind of go in like a scalloping motion. And then now that you've got a few wraps on here, you can try to place the horseshoe. And then that way it'll stay in place. And then you just keep wrapping. When you do a ankle wrap like this, you always want to start at the toes and then work your way back up the leg. And that's how you get the swelling out of the area. Just have them overlap a little bit. Keep going up the leg. You want to make it snug but not too tight. And then once you have this, you can either use the clips or use some tape and just make a C-strip or ankle strip around it to close it up. Has some ankle instability, so we're going to take their ankle to just keep it secure during practice. You're going to want to start with spraying it down just to make sure everything sticks to them. And then to avoid some friction, you're going to use a heel and lace pad. Put one on the top and one on the bottom. And then because you don't want to put the tape directly on the skin for this one, you're going to start with pre-wrap and wrap it starting down here just to get that heel and lace pad nice and secure, and just go up their ankle here. The higher you go up, the more stability they have. Then come back down here. Just keep wrapping down the foot. You want to go over the ankle. Make sure to get that covered and try and get as few spaces as possible. And when you're wrapping, kind of just try to follow the wrap so that you don't get any gaps and folds and all that stuff. Then you can close this just to make sure that pre-wrap doesn't unfold. And you never want to take over top of the end of their fifth metatarsal because it'll hurt their foot. So you want to put one anchor up at the top. Then get a stirrup going medially to laterally. So you just start on the medial side at the top of that anchor strip, try and get it to lay as flat as possible, and you're going to want to pull tight up here onto the lateral side and just get that to lay as flat as you can. Then you're going to put a C-strip in front of their ankle, again going medial to lateral, and this one goes straight down under the foot, through the back of the foot, and back up top to the other side. Then you're gonna have another stirrup in front of and overlapping the last one you just did. Again, just try to get it to lay as flat as possible. Go through the bottom of the foot and back around and tear it right over on that anchor so that it'll stick to it. Get another C-strip, this one going behind the last one, working your way back towards that ankle, and come back up. And then you're gonna get your last stirrup, and that's gonna be a little bit behind that first one that you did. And then again, just try to get as flat as you can. Once you get this last C-strip, you can go ahead and close up. So you just want to close them up like this, just to help make sure that your tape doesn't unravel. So now that we've done that, we're going to do some heel locks just to help hold that heel in place. You always want to start on the medial side. So start up at the top of the foot and then wrap the tape around the front of their foot and then curve it back behind the heel and then come back up to the top of the foot. And then you're going to do the same thing but on the lateral side, because you want to even it out. When you're pulling it to the medial, you're pulling the ankle in one direction, so now you want to get it back into neutral. So you pull it again laterally in front of the foot, back behind the heel, and then back up top. And try to make sure you're not tearing all of your tape in the same direction, because then it'll get too tight in that one spot. Then you're going to do your heel locks twice, so do one more from the medial side, front of the foot, behind, and back up, and then just smooth that down a little bit, and the last lateral one. And then since we've already closed up, you can just leave it like this, and then we're going to do a subtalar sling. So this one, you're going to start up. You're going to do a subtalar sling. You already have your sticky spray in here, so you can just put this right below the great toe, come down around the foot laterally, and you're going to want to come back behind the heel and then back up to the top of the foot, and then just try to cut that, and then you can tear the rest of that across. And then again, just like with the heel locks, you want to do one on each side just to make sure that their ankle is always in the neutral position. So then this one is going to start over on the 5th toe, and now we're going to pull medially down the foot, back behind the heel, and then back up to the top of the foot. And then that's our subtalar sling. We're going to do Achilles tendon tape, and you want to have one anchor midway on the calf and the other anchor halfway across the foot. And you're going to cut strips of this elastic tape from the bottom of this anchor to the top of this anchor, and you want 2 of these, and have the patient plantar flex. And once the tape is in place, this will help hold the Achilles tendon in place and stop it from getting more aggravated. Once you have your tape, you want to cut a small slit in the middle of it. Put it here, and then pull it up and kind of tear it, and then just wrap it around that top anchor. Then you want to do the same with your second strip. Cut it in the middle. And then rotate it a little bit. again, just put that in the same spot. And then this one you want to go a little bit lower than that first one that you made. And then you're going to put an anchor at the top just so that stretchy tape doesn't come undone. And this will just help prevent movement of their Achilles tendon. And then tape to help stop the movement of her thumb for treatment of a thumb sprain. So I'm going to start with putting Power Flex around her wrist, bring it up her hand, down, up the hand, pinch this just so it doesn't pinch her thumb, go around and back down. Then you want to use the smaller tentaplast, and now you can have them with their thumb up here, and you want to come down here, up, around, back. And you can just cut it off. Then you want to get 3 of these and just have them gradually coming up the thumb. And the point of this is to help stabilize that MCP joint and stop it from moving. And that's the thumb spica.